Welcome to episode 106 of the Savvy Shopkeeper Retail Podcast. I'm your host, Kathy Cruz. We're wrapping up our 100 episode celebration today. To celebrate this milestone, because hitting 100 episodes in a podcast these days is a big one, we decided to share 6 of the most popular previously published episodes. Say that 6 times. Popular previously published episodes. And today you're getting the last replay. Today's replay is episode number 42, and it was titled, Women Stop Diminishing Yourselves. I'm ending this replay series with an episode that is more important than anything else I may teach because our mindset and how we treat ourselves is the foundation for everything we do. I'm going to say that one more time. Pause. Put everything down, stop multitasking. Our mindset and how we treat ourselves is the foundation for everything we do. I have nothing to really add to this episode, and there isn't anything I feel I need to say to preface the replay, other than we can all listen to this episode and find it helpful or find someone to share it with because they need to hear what I'm saying here. I genuinely hope you appreciated this replay series. Whether it was your first time listening or second or third time listening to any of these episodes, I genuinely hope they were helpful and valuable. It's still amazing to me that I hit 100 episodes on this podcast. Starting this podcast has been one of the most rewarding experiences. Now, don't get me wrong, it is a lot of work. And it requires a lot of discipline. And it involves a team of incredibly talented women who make this happen every week, so I would be remiss if I didn't mention them. Although you only hear my voice, I don't do this alone. The first person that I want to mention is my audio editor, Katie. Her business is called Voiced by Katie. She's also an actress. But I want to say thank you to Katie because she hears all of my mess ups, all of my bloopers and blunders. I'm sure she's amused. The next person is Jamie, my copywriter. She writes all of the incredible show notes that you see on my website. She makes the graphics. She makes the audiograms, which I don't share enough. But she polishes up everything in writing and visually, and I really appreciate it. And then last but not least is Jacelyn, my virtual assistant, who I don't know what I would have done without her over the past year. She allows me to focus on some of the more important things in Savvy Shopkeeper, like the content, like serving you more, like creating resources and courses and tools and all of the good things that help you the most with your businesses. So Katie, Jamie, and Jacelyn, this one's for you. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for everything that you do. The Savvy Shopkeeper Retail Podcast recently ranked 153 in the entrepreneur category in the United States. This is huge. If you see some of the podcasts in the top 100, you'll know what I mean. I know we can hit the top 100 in 2022, and we can stay there consistently. In the Instagram Blueprint episode, one thing I said repeatedly was consistency. This is a trait as entrepreneurs that we all should embrace and all do really well because consistency is key. So getting back to this replay for episode 42, I want to wrap this up by saying that the voice in my head is more empowering than ever. It's stronger, it lifts me up, and the confidence that results from this feels incredible. And I wish all of this for you too. A great way to start building this mindset muscle is to listen or re-listen and maybe re-listen again to episode 42. And here it is. Women, stop diminishing yourselves.
Independent retail business can mean so many things these days. A brick and mortar store, an e-commerce business, a maker's online shop, a booth at an antique mall, and more. No matter which category you're in, Kathy Cruz, a fellow retail business owner and retail educator, will teach you how to market and manage your business efficiently so you can spend time doing other things you love. Welcome to the Savvy Shopkeeper Podcast.
Welcome to episode 42 of the Savvy Shopkeeper Retail Podcast. Women, stop diminishing yourselves. I'm your host, Kathy Cruz. My intention for this episode is to empower women in the Savvy Shopkeeper communities. I want us all to speak more confidently, to ask questions without apologizing, and to stop using words like stupid or dumb when referring to ourselves. I want to add that if you're a male listener and you tend to do this too, I also want to empower you. Today's shopkeeper shout out goes to Miriam of Coco Jolie, and of course we'll have it linked in the show notes. Miriam is a member of Master Shopkeepers and motivated me to push this drafted episode idea to the top of my list. Miriam is a really talented chocolatier. Since I started following Miriam's business page on Facebook, I think I like or love every single Coco Jolie post that comes into my feed. And if you follow her on Facebook or Instagram, you'll see why. It probably doesn't help that I absolutely love chocolate. But trust me, you'll see how amazing her chocolates are if you follow her too. You don't realize the volume of work someone puts into their talent until you actually see the process. And this was the case when I watched a few videos of Miriam's on her YouTube channel. So much talent and quality in her fine chocolates. Again, I just want to make sure that I'll mention her website and her Facebook and Instagram are all linked in the show notes. But let's get started on this episode where I'll also discuss how Miriam played a role in today's topic. If you listen to episode number 30, you know my mission with Savvy Shopkeeper is to teach retail store owners to work less and profit more. What's unspoken in that tagline is how strongly I feel about empowering micro retail business owners. And the reason is sometimes our businesses are so small, or they seem so small in the grand scheme of things, that it's easy for us to minimize what we have accomplished. And we constantly deal with comments where others diminish our businesses. Like when someone refers to our stores as a hobby, that little hobby of yours. Or family members with quote unquote real jobs make it seem like our businesses aren't important or they aren't a priority because they're small businesses. You know these comments. When someone diminishes your business and they walk away, there's that little dig sometimes, and they don't realize it, or maybe they do, and they walk away and your face is red and there's steam coming out of your ears, and you think, I should have said whatever it was you should have said. In early July of 2020, I co-hosted an online workshop with Sarah Nemechek of WE Profit Foundry. We taught financial foundations for brick and mortar store owners. That was the title of the workshop. Sarah is a former shopkeeper who turned financial coach, and you've probably heard me mention her quite a few times in previous episodes. And most of you know I'm still a shopkeeper. If you're new here, I educate people about running an independent retail store, but I also still currently own a retail store. So between the two of us, me and Sarah, this collaboration seemed ideal for teaching a financial workshop to retailers. Sarah and I have both worked with many shopkeepers over the past few years, so we learned that there's a need for teaching retail store owners how to read, analyze, and use their financial data. So we offered these lessons in a 3-hour workshop. It was a long one, but it was worth it. We spent 2 hours teaching the workshop and 1 hour on an open Q&A. And throughout the 3 hours, I noticed a disturbing trend in questions from some of the people attending the workshop. And I wasn't the only one that noticed. After the workshop, Miriam, who also attended the workshop, she sent me an email, and I'm going to read word for word what she said in the email. I also got her permission to share this. She said, I noticed something that I thought might be worth mentioning. Several times when people ask questions during the call, they preface their question with something like, sorry, I'm dumb, or sorry for the stupid question. It struck me that we women have a tendency to say things like this. It's this self-talk we do in our heads that then comes out. It's like we need to apologize for taking up space with our thoughts and questions. Men don't do this. At least the vast majority don't, compared to the large percentage of women who do this. We need to get better at thinking of ourselves in a positive light, with every right to speak up and ask questions. We don't need to diminish ourselves to have a voice. I'm guilty of it too, and as the mom of a teen daughter and 2 teen boys, I see how early we start sabotaging ourselves like this. It's such a shame. We deserve better. We deserve to be better to ourselves. So when I received Miriam's email, I realized that I really needed to push this episode up on my list. At times in my own life, I've done this too, and I tend to cringe when I think about those times, especially as I get older. I worked in a male-dominated industry for nearly 20 years and often think about the number of times I may have apologized or diminished myself with words, or maybe even didn't speak up at all. But then I also think about the times I did speak up or didn't apologize, and knowing me, there were probably plenty of those times. The new sponsor for this podcast is the Shopkeepers Academy. Tell me if you can relate to this as a shopkeeper. You crave sisterhood from other retail shop owners going through the same thing. You desperately search online for tools or education that will help you get ahead as a business owner, but Google is exhausting because you're busy running a business. And when you do find resources online, it isn't tailored to your type of business, an independent retail store. You need the guidance of lessons and information that empower you to keep your business afloat, or better yet, thriving in this stressful world. That's where the Shopkeepers Academy comes in. The Shopkeepers Academy is an online platform that was built specifically for independent retail business owners. It's a one-stop shop to sign up for education and community. Whether you want to grab an affordable ebook like a 9-page shipping guide, or get access to a comprehensive list of lessons by subscribing to the Shopkeepers Learning Lab, or if you want to join Master Shopkeepers, and that's a paid mastermind group of brick and mortar store owners, you'll know that every option in the Academy was designed for you, the independent retail business owner. I want to help all brick and mortar retailers work less and profit more. Is this what you want too? Visit shopkeepersacademy.com for more information. So moving on, I want to talk about, if you're listening to this, I want to talk about how you might fall into 3 categories. The first one is, this isn't me. I refuse to diminish myself. I make conscious decisions when speaking. I do it confidently, even when I have questions or don't know something. The second category could be the person that says, this might be me. I either know I do it and I don't like it, or I'll have to pay more attention because I think I do it and I really need to pay attention to what I say and how I say it. And then the third category is, this is me. I do this all the time. No matter where you fall, we can all improve, or we can help each other diminish the diminishing talk. See what I did there? My sister would say it was lame. But moving on. So what can you do? I have some suggestions, of course. So let's start with number 1, and that's practice self-awareness. You can pay attention to what you say and how you say it. You'll notice when you stop apologizing and diminishing yourself because your body posture changes, you feel better, both physically and emotionally. Number 2 is change your vocabulary. Turn around some of the standard diminishing responses you say. For instance, instead of saying, this is a stupid question, simply say, I have a question. Own it. Just say, I have a question. Instead of saying, I know, I'm dumb, cut out that prefacing statement and go directly into saying, again, I have a question. Or simply cut out the I'm so stupid or I'm sorry statements from your vocabulary. Number 3 is be confident and intentional. Being more intentional in how you express yourself will help you in so many ways. In daily conversations, in professional settings, as a leader in your business, or even as an authority in your business district. Number 4 is Call other women or yourself out. This sounds a little aggressive, but I'm going to explain. Now, I don't want you to do this in a diminishing way where you make the woman feel bad or where you're insulting her. That would contradict what I'm asking you to do here. But if you notice another woman doing this, remind the woman how much of a badass she is and either mention this podcast or make a couple of suggestions to help her stop this habit. Number 5 is find an accountability partner. Maybe it's a bestie or a business bestie. Sarah, who I mentioned earlier, is someone who does this for me. She'll point out when I diminish myself. I have a habit of sometimes, not anymore, I don't think, but I used to have a habit of saying, oh, I'm babbling if I was live on Facebook or I was teaching a class. Not because I felt like I wasn't providing value. I don't know why I said it. I would just say it, but it was diminishing. And she often would correct me or mention it. And she would tell me about what I was talking about. She's like, you're not babbling. Everything you say is important. And I just want to say that when I record these episodes and I'm talking about a topic, it's usually because I've experienced it. I've done it myself. So again, I'm far from perfect here. But you have no idea how much I appreciate that Sarah called me out on this. So she definitely has been an accountability partner for me, and I really appreciate it. I feel like this is something I'm working on myself. She's never made me feel, less than, or I didn't feel criticized. She simply reminds me to be stronger, bolder, more confident in what I'm doing, and I can't be mad at that. Last but not least, I know firsthand this takes practice. If this is personally a bad habit for you, it will take time, but start implementing the steps that I mentioned earlier so you can change this diminishing behavior. You will notice the positive effects of the change. I personally notice it, and you'll notice it in more ways than one. I often hear shopkeepers who get upset when someone diminishes them or their business. And trust me, that is also the topic of an upcoming episode. So why is it okay that you diminish yourself? It's not. I'm going to end this episode by quoting the title of one of Rachel Hollis's books, and of course, I'll be sure to link it in the show notes. But girl, stop apologizing. If you want to see the show notes to this episode or find links to anything I mentioned, please visit my blog at savvyshopkeeper.com/episode 42. And I know I mentioned previous episodes, other people's businesses, Rachel Hollis's book. I just want to make sure that if you are interested in anything that I mentioned in this episode, Coco Jolie, please go to the show notes. That's savvyshopkeeper.com/episode 42. If you have a story to share about this topic, please DM me on Instagram. I'd really like to hear it. You'll find me on Instagram, and my username is @SavvyShopkeeper. That's 2 V's like Victor, SAVVY Shopkeeper. If you feel this episode could help a friend, we all have friends who do this probably. If you feel this episode could help a friend, please share it with them. There is a sharing button. I know for sure on the Apple Podcast. I would imagine on Shopify Podcasts, probably on all podcast apps. Go ahead and share it or share a link to the show notes that I mentioned earlier, savvyshopkeeper.com/episode 42. I think we can all help each other here. And if you feel this whole podcast would help someone, please share it too or leave a review. And you can do that on the Apple Podcast app. I truly, truly appreciate it. Until the next episode, be savvy and boss up.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.